Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So, the Iowa results are in, and Ted Cruz beat all the other candidates, including the establishment candidates. First place. Cruz received more votes than any other candidate has ever received in Iowa. Amazing. He had 28% of the vote, 8 delegates, with 51,666 votes. How about that? 666. No, I'm kidding. So Ted Cruz won in Iowa. Now Donald Trump came in second with 427 votes at 24% and carried 7 delegates. Rubio came in with 43,165 votes, 23%, carrying 7 delegates. And then Carson came in fourth, 17,395 votes with 3 delegates. So, guys, I thought that Donald Trump was going to win Iowa. I did. I mean, every single poll, and I'm going to pull up Real Clear Politics here. Every single poll that was conducted had Trump leading by, in some, huge margins. I mean, it's really remarkable what happened there. Going to let me pull it up here. It's not wanting to load for some reason. Why isn't it loading? I tell you, Real Clear Politics, get your stuff together. It's not wanting to load. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Here we go. Okay, now it loaded. Thanks for the speed there, Real Clear Politics. Anyway, this is valuable airtime. The final results, of course, like I said, were Cruz was at 28%, Trump 24%. Real Clear Politics had Trump leading by 4.7%, and every poll, the closest poll that came to a Cruz win was the Emerson poll, and Trump was just leading by 1. But in every poll, you had Trump leading by 8, Trump leading by 7, Trump leading by 4, leading by 5, leading by 1. Oh, the other one, Opinions Savvy, was another one that had Trump leading by just 1. But every single poll had Trump ahead, so it looked like Trump was going to win it. But then all of a sudden, Ted Cruz comes in, takes it away. And a lot of people are blaming that on the Cruz staff members going out and telling the people who were voting in the caucus that Ben Carson was dropping out of the race. Because in the other polls, you have Ben Carson that was at, let's see here. Yeah, you had Ben Carson that was at 7.7%. And so he was in 4th place. So a lot of people, thought that could have affected it a little bit. Definitely could have affected it possibly 4 percentage points, depending on how long they had been telling that lie. But, it's really just a dirty trick. And, a lot of people have been asking me, Caiden, why haven't you endorsed Ted Cruz? Why are you not endorsing Ted Cruz? Or why aren't you endorsing Donald Trump? I keep getting drilled by people. Why aren't you making an endorsement? I don't like making endorsements in primary elections. And the reason for that is because there's too much division the way it is. And when you're in the radio business, it's really not all that wise to make endorsements of political candidates that are running for president. Okay? That's in a primary anyway. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that has kept me from endorsing Ted Cruz, and this is a major one, is that I agree with Ted Cruz on all the issues that he supports, pretty much. I don't agree with him when it came to that one bill regarding the immigration thing when that was going on. But anyway, when it comes to most of the issues that Ted Cruz supports, he's right on. He is a conservative candidate. Okay? But what has prevented me from supporting Ted Cruz is his choice in people that he decides to do business with. It's the people that he associates himself with. Because Ted Cruz's staff members, many of them, not all, because I'm friends with a lot of them, but some of them are despicable. They're dishonest, they're deceptive, they are your average political junkie that has given politics the reputation for dishonesty, okay? Because I have friends that work inside of the Cruz campaign, and a lot of them are not happy. There's division in there. They are ridiculed. They're attacked. And it's difficult for them. And there are a lot of people that are affiliated with Ted Cruz right now that are just absolutely despicable people that are ruthless and will do anything to win. And we saw that with Ben Carson. Ted Cruz is saying that he was not aware, and this is one of the things that is coming out of the Cruz campaign. They're saying he was not aware that that lie was being spread about Ben Carson by his campaign. I'm going to tell you something right now that is absolutely absurd when it comes to making excuses as for the reasoning behind it, I should say. Okay? Because if Ted Cruz is not aware of what's going on in his campaign, then he needs to be paying a little bit more attention, and he needs to be firing some people that were involved in making that decision. Okay? That were involved in spreading that lie. Because this has happened multiple times. I mean, it happened with the C.J. Pearson kid where they didn't vet him properly. It happened with this voter violation thing. And now we have this thing that's coming out about Ted Cruz spreading this lie about Ben Carson that he was dropping out of the race. If he is not aware of what's going on in his campaign, then he needs to fire some people because there's some people that are working behind his back and are slowly destroying it. He's imploding right now. And it's not him that's doing it. It's his campaign. It's his staffers. Okay, we shouldn't even be talking about Ted Cruz's staff. Okay, they're not the ones running for president. And if his campaign becomes more about his staff than about him, there's a problem. Because guys, this is why I say this has been a major factor in my decision making between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Because I've told you on the program before, those are my two picks. Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, be happy with either one of them. But one of the major factors that I am concerned about when it comes to Ted Cruz are the people that he affiliates himself with. Because when you allow dishonest people in your campaign, that shows that you have poor discernment in choosing who you associate yourself with. Because when you have that negative quality, when you're president, you're going to be making a lot of decisions as to who you are going to put in and keep out of your administration. It's going to happen when it comes to choosing your cabinet members. It's going to happen when it's going to be a major factor in choosing the people that you put in regards to diplomacy. I mean, decision-making as to who you are going to affiliate yourself with is a very, very major factor. And I don't think all that many people care about that. But that is something major that you look at. And a leader does not associate themselves with people who are dishonest or are ruthless in that regard to where they're willing to do anything to win, even if it means spreading lies about their opponent. And the Cruz campaign recently has been spreading lies about Donald Trump. Now, the Cruz supporters will be saying, well, so is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been spreading lies about Ted Cruz. All right, what lie is that? The Ted Cruz is ineligible. No. Donald Trump is bringing up that the Democratic Party will try to press a lawsuit against Ted Cruz as soon as he becomes the Republican nominee for president. And he's absolutely right. The Democrats will do that. I mean, guys, I remind you, it was Hillary Clinton that was trying to say that Obama was born in Kenya. She's the one who started all that. We don't give her credit for that, but she did. She's the original birther. And she will be a birther if Ted Cruz becomes the nominee, and they need to get that taken care of. There's a lawyer, I believe, who's bringing a suit, or somebody bringing a suit against Ted Cruz right now, saying that he's ineligible to be president. I mean, that is a major factor that we have to look at here. And Donald Trump was just bringing that up, and it got twisted into Donald Trump is working with Hillary Clinton secretly. And I guess they're trying to keep Ted Cruz from getting the nomination because Donald Trump is a secret liberal that is trying to just hoodwink everybody, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, guys, seriously. Ted Cruz then starts lying about Donald Trump and said that this is what his campaign was saying anyway, that Donald Trump, this was Rick Tyler, communications director for the Cruz campaign. Rick Tyler said on Fox News that Donald Trump was in support of same-sex marriage. Trump has never been in support of same-sex marriage. That is a fact. Even if we go all the way back to 2000, this gay magazine called The Advocate, they did a story on me a few years ago. The Advocate, horrible magazine, was able to get a hold of Mr. Trump, did an interview with him. Trump agreed to it, said, yeah, whatever. And they asked Trump what his opinion was on same-sex marriage. You know what he told them? He believed that marriage was between a man and a woman. This was back in 2000 when Trump was still a liberal, when he was a Democrat, okay? And he was still in support of traditional marriage. Well, in 2009, when the Miss California incident happened, which I remind you, I remember everything, okay? But when Miss California was going on, where she said that she believed that marriage was between a man and a woman, and they were trying to disqualify her from that, you had Perez Hilton that asked her that question, was trying to get her kicked out of the pageant, which was Donald Trump's pageant, by the way. They were looking to Donald Trump. Trump, are you going to kick her out or are you going to leave her in? You're going to leave that homophobe in there? You know what Trump said? He said, yes, I'm going to leave her in there. We live in America. If you support same-sex marriage, you have the right to do so. If you oppose same-sex marriage, you have the right to do so. And as for me and my family, I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman. That's what Donald Trump said. Fox News reported it. Everybody reported it. It was big news. Everyone couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe Trump was this huge social conservative. And then in 2011, to make matters even worse, Trump came out and said that he's pro-life. And next thing you know, every single major conservative publication out there, Breitbart, everybody is reporting Donald Trump has become pro-life. And the reason why he became pro-life, he said, is because of personal stories that his staff members and friends that he had were sharing with him. So he said it was an 11-year evolution of his journey becoming pro-life. Now, guys, if he had just changed, because the Cruz campaign, that's another thing Cruz is saying, that Donald Trump is still pro-choice. That's a lie. That is deceptive. Trump evolved over an 11-year period. If he just evolved in a month, then yeah, I could understand that. But it's an 11-year period. I mean, come on. Are we going to say that all women out there who are pro-lifers, even if they're very outspoken advocates of the pro-life cause, they've had an abortion, then we got to do away with them. Can't trust them. They're still pro-choice. They had an abortion, for crying out loud. I mean, that's how hypocritical it is. I mean, just because you were a liberal once and you were blind once does not mean that you are somehow scarred for the rest of your life and no one can have anything to do with you. I mean, they act like Trump has a mark of the beast or something. It's so weird how they're treating him. Because this was an 11-year evolution. I mean, for crying out loud. You had Ronald Reagan that used to be a Democrat. And then when he was getting ready to get involved in politics, ran for governor, he became a Republican. So really, what's the big deal here? I mean, it really just amazes me. But Ted Cruz, I mean, his campaign, going out there spreading lies about their opponents, because it was enough that they were spreading that lie on same-sex marriage regarding Trump. But then when they start carrying it over and start going after Ben Carson, and because Ben Carson, he's a harmless guy. I mean, yeah, I know he chased his mother with a hammer, but still, that was several years ago. Okay? I mean, Carson, he's not much of a threat, other than they knew that he would be an easy guy to take out. And if they were able to conquer a lot of his percentage points, then that would give Cruz a boost. Okay? Because Carson got 9% of the vote. Okay, excuse me, my voice went out. Now, the highest that some of these polls had him was at 10%. So he got at least, he could have got a percentage point out of there, which, of course, would have put him a little bit closer. But then you also have Rubio that was doing the same thing. So it's hard to tell how many votes Carson would have gotten added on to that. So Cruz and Rubio were both doing that to Trump or to Carson, allegedly. So, I mean, guys, it's really just, to me, it's pathetic. It is. It is pathetic that a candidate would stoop to that low of spreading lies about their opponents. And that is not leadership material. And if the Cruz campaign was doing that, there's something wrong.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
You're listening to the new WXMB 101.5 FM.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
J.P. Morgan is now holding a record 55 million ounces of silver. Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting another financial crisis, and over time, they're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. Silver is trading below its production costs and is predicted to double by 2020. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. If you find a better rate, they will easily match it just for you. Plus, their specialty is precious metals IRA rollovers for the ultimate in IRA security. Be one of the first 20 callers today to receive their free definitive gold guide, plus their exclusive A Sterling Time to Be Buying Silver report. They have an A-plus rating with a Better Business Bureau, so call the experts at Capital Gold Group now and see what investing in gold and silver can do for you. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. Once again, that is 1-800-932-4108.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817.
Have you ever had this brilliant idea for an invention? I mean, you think that if this idea, if this invention actually gets out in production and is able to be marketed and everything, this will make you millions and millions of dollars. So people have ideas like this all the time. But the problem that they run into is actually getting it out in production and getting it in the stores. Well, let me tell you about my friends at InventHelp. InventHelp has been helping inventors for over 30 years. And what they do is they package inventors' ideas, they provide a patent referral, and then they submit the idea to companies that want to receive new ideas. And some of their clients have included Lowe's, Toys R Us, Home Depot, Target, and Walmart, just to name a few. Their number is 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. InventHelp is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Have you ever been involved in an auto accident or had to get your car repaired and then got an expensive bill? For example, you're driving home on a shopping trip you didn't want to go on in the first place, and the next thing you know, traveling at just 65 miles per hour, a stupid deer jumps right out in front of you and whack, hits you right in the front of the car. Yeah, sorry, I had a flashback. Well, let me tell you about our sponsor, Maximum Car Care. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced a revolutionary low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the general public to save customers thousands of dollars on auto repairs. They can be reached at 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. 9762. That's 1-800-824-9762. Do your teeth ever get stained from drinking a lot of coffee or tea? And then when that happens, you have to make an appointment, you have to go to the dentist, and then they scrape half your gum out along with the plaque. It's horrible. Well, let me tell you about our friends at Paraswabs. Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get teeth white without visiting the dentist. Teeth that are stained from coffee or tea will be 2 shades whiter with just one Paraswabs treatment. Paraswabs is clinically proven to whiten teeth as well as caps. They can be reached by calling 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on 101.5 WXNB, Myrtle Beach.
All right, ladies and
Caiden
gentlemen, welcome back
Cowger.
to the Caiden Cowger program. It
Somebody
is great
had
to
to
have
say
you
it.
with us. So, here's the thing, all right? I like Ted Cruz. I like Donald Trump. But when you start spreading lies about your opponent or opponents, personally for me, it really turns me off. And I don't care who you are. Okay, I don't care if you are this huge conservative or what you are. If you are a dishonest person, I do not want you in any leadership position, whatever it may be. And Cruz needs to watch himself, okay, because he is borderline of being a dishonest politician. I mean, he has this thing going around where you have trust Ted. I love Ted Cruz. I want Ted Cruz to do well. I would love to see him as president, okay? I mean, I've even invited Ted Cruz to, I rarely ever invite people onto this show, but I've invited Ted Cruz onto the program. I'd love to have him. Love to have him on the show. Love to have Donald Trump on the show. The closest that I've gotten to getting someone on was Mike Huckabee. Love to get Mike Huckabee on. Still would like to get Mike Huckabee on. But, you know, guys, what you have to understand here is that when there's deception and dishonesty in your campaign, even if you're not the one that's doing it, that is a reflection on you. And one thing that is going around here that a lot of conservatives are spreading, believe me, I've been getting messages over this because I treat all Republicans equally when it comes to my criticism. If I see something that is wrong in a campaign, it is my job as a conservative commentator to address it and say, hey, this isn't right. This needs to be fixed. This is constructive criticism. I don't hate anybody that's running. So, okay, Jeb Bush. No, I'm kidding. I don't hate anybody. I don't like Jeb Bush. I don't want Jeb Bush to get the nomination. I mean, that's obvious. But when it comes to Cruz, when it comes to Trump, if I criticize Cruz or Trump, the reason why I'm doing it is because personally, I like them. I want to see them do well. And I'm going to offer criticism in areas that they need it. And when you are allowing dishonesty in your campaign like Cruz is doing, it's the same way with a church. When you have division in the church, you've got to take care of it. Well, Cruz needs to take care of the division in his campaign, of the dishonesty in his campaign, because if they are spreading inaccurate information about Ben Carson that he's dropping out, Cruz needs to get rid of the people that are the cause of the dishonesty, because it's a reflection on him. And that's just the way that it is. And, you know, don't give me this hogwash, because a lot of Cruz supporters can't say, oh, Caiden, I can't believe you are criticizing Ted Cruz. It doesn't mean I hate him or dislike him or don't want to see him become president. I'm saying this because it's true. Okay, it is true. And here's the thing. And I'm going to just be completely blunt about this. Cruz supporters are trying to defend Ted Cruz's campaign by blaming CNN for the Ben Carson gaffe, okay? They're trying to say CNN reported that Ben Carson was suspending his campaign. Business Insider reported that that Ben Carson is suspending his campaign. That is the biggest load of hogwash I have ever heard, okay? Because let me tell you, CNN was not reporting that. They were just reporting that rather than going to New Hampshire, Ben Carson was taking a stop in Florida. That's what CNN reported. Didn't report that he was suspending his campaign, just said that he was going to Florida. Well, the Cruz campaign decided to translate that and said, hey, you know what? Ben Carson is getting ready to drop out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use that to our advantage, and we're going to say that Ben Carson is dropping out. Maybe we can get some of his supporters to endorse us. And that is even what they sent out in this letter to their supporters there in Iowa. Listen to this. This is from the Ted Cruz campaign. Very interesting. Dear name of the supporter. Breaking news. The press is reporting that Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, is taking time off from the campaign trail after Iowa and making a big announcement next week. Please inform any Carson caucus goers of this news and urge them to caucus for Ted Cruz. How else can you interpret that as other than trying to manipulate Carson goers into voting for Ted Cruz because Ben Carson is supposedly dropping out next week? There's no other way to translate that. And this was from Spence Rogers. See, it's all campaign staffers. This is what I'm saying. He has associated himself with people who are very deceptive. And that is a problem. I have a problem with that. And guys, you can say, oh, it's CNN's fault. Don't you think that if Ben Carson was dropping out of the race, Fox News would be reporting it? You'd have CNN reporting, MSNBC reporting it. All they said was that he was going to Florida. That's all they said. He's going to Florida. What's the big deal? It doesn't mean that he's dropping out necessarily. And see, the thing is, here's another thing, guys. What candidate or what person in their right mind who has any education regarding politics whatsoever would think that Ben Carson would drop out right before the Iowa caucus? No one. No one. The Cruz campaign was trying to manipulate Carson voters into supporting Ted Cruz. And that is deceptive. That is wrong. And that is not right. And, you know, and this is what I said. I said, how can someone claim to be a Christian while also trying to deceive others? Because that's the exact opposite. I mean, the devil's the author of deception here. And when you're trying to make God a part of your campaign like Ted Cruz, you cannot have deception in your campaign. I'm saying this as if I was running it myself. All right? If I was running a presidential campaign, I would not allow deception like that. You don't do that. And you don't spread lies about your opponent. And that's exactly what Ted Cruz is doing here. All right? That makes him worse than Trump. I don't like that. I want Ted Cruz to take care of that. Like I said, I like Ted Cruz and I want to see him do well. But I also want him to run a clean campaign, an honest campaign, not one that is based upon lies and based on deception. Because when he is saying, like in his opening statement, glory be to God, I mean, seriously. When you're going to be a Christian, you're being a false representation of Christ when you lie. You're held to a different standard than people who are worldly. And everyone says, well, Donald Trump, he owns a casino. Donald Trump, he owns a strip club. I understand that. Donald Trump is not saved. Everyone thinks that, I mean, I've had criticism, believe me. I get criticism from Trump supporters over that because I say Donald Trump is not saved. But the Bible says very clearly that when you are a Christian, you separate yourself from sin. And it's right there. If you open up to, I forget what the scripture is. Let me see. I'm going to look that up real quick. Yeah, it's here it is. It's John 3:6. All right. No one who lives in him keeps on sinning. No one who continues to sin has either seen him or known him. So what does that mean? It means that Trump, when he's participating in this stuff that is sinful, when he owns a strip club, when he owns a casino, that's violating that. What does it say? No one who lives in him keeps on sinning. No one who continues to sin either has seen him or known him. It means that when you become a Christian, you have to completely reject sin. And Trump, I feel, has not done that. I mean, he said he had never asked God for forgiveness before. That is a problem, okay? You have to repent in order to make heaven your home. And when Trump says he's never asked God for forgiveness, that is a serious problem, and he needs to fix that. But I'm not going to say that not being a Christian disqualifies him from the presidency, because what I look for in a candidate, Donald Trump is pro-life, he supports traditional marriage, and he believes in defending religious liberty. That's fine in my book.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on 101.5 WXMB Myrtle Beach.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
When you're ready to take the edge off a hectic day, I suggest you start with a little music from Franz Black.
I guess there's lots of ways to look at things that don't seem right.
No Worries has just been released on iTunes and Amazon.
It's gonna be alright.
You can find Franz Black and his music on his website, franzblack.com. F-R-A-N-Z black.com.
It's gonna be alright.
Have you ever been involved in an auto accident or had to get your car repaired and then got an expensive bill? For example, you're driving home on a shopping trip you didn't want to go on in the first place, and the next thing you know, traveling at just 65 miles per hour, a stupid deer jumps right out in front of you and whack, hits you right in the front of the car. Yeah, sorry, I had a flashback. Well, let me tell you about our sponsor, Maximum Car Care. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced a revolutionary low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the general public to save customers thousands of dollars on auto repairs. They can be reached at 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. That's 1-800-824-9762. Have you ever had this brilliant idea for an invention? I mean, you think that if this invention actually gets out in production and is able to be marketed and everything, this will make you millions and millions of dollars. So people have ideas like this all the time. But the problem that they run into is actually getting it out in production and getting it in the stores. Well, let me tell you about my friends at InventHelp. InventHelp has been helping inventors for over 30 years. And what they do is they package inventors' ideas, they provide a patent referral, and then they submit the idea to companies that want to receive new ideas. And some of their clients have included Lowe's, Toys R Us, Home Depot, Target, and Walmart, just to name a few. Their number is 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. 1597. InventHelp is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Do your teeth ever get stained from drinking a lot of coffee or tea? And then when that happens, you have to make an appointment, you have to go to the dentist, and then they scrape half your gum out along with the plaque. It's horrible. Well, let me tell you about our friends at Power Swabs. Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get teeth white without visiting the dentist. Teeth that are stained from coffee or tea will be 2 shades whiter with just one Power Swabs treatment. Power Swabs is clinically proven to whiten teeth as well as caps. They can be reached by calling 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817.
You're listening to WXMB, the Myrtle Beach home for Caiden Cowger.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to
All right, ladies
say
and
it.
gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. But, you know, guys, I tell you, that's the thing that we have to look at here. We have to be very careful. Very careful in choosing a presidential candidate. But, you know, the thing is, and I mean this, the thing that really concerns me with all that is what are they like? Which one has the most leadership material? Does Donald Trump have that, or does Cruz have that? Now, Trump has a history for showing or for choosing people that are experts in what they're doing, the best of the best. He hires the best of the best, okay? When Ted Cruz is hiring people in his campaign that are deceiving voters, that are spreading misinformation and attempting for political gain, that is not leadership material. That is that of a weasel, okay? I'm not calling Ted Cruz a weasel, but I'm saying that's what that is. And Ted Cruz needs to take care of that because it does. It makes him look like a weasel. He's not one. I hope not, anyway. I hope that is just a representation of the people that is working on his campaign, and it's not Ted Cruz. I mean, I met Ted Cruz. I like Ted Cruz. I've said this multiple times on the show already. But you have to be careful with who you choose in your campaign, to work in your campaign. And that's something that Ted Cruz needs to do. But anyway, let's get on to some other stuff that's going on here. President Obama visited a mosque, delivered a speech in there. Donald Trump commented on that and said maybe he feels comfortable there. And, you know, he's probably right. I mean, why in the world? Have you ever heard of a president? Well, no, he's been the first president that has spoken at a mosque, I think. So, I mean, I know that when you are supposedly a Christian yourself, you're supposed to stay away from cultic faiths, which is Islam. So Obama's, of course, not. Well, he doesn't care about the Bible anyway. That's why he lit the White House up in the colors of modern-day sin, although the rainbow was originally God's design as a promise that he'd never flood the earth again. Sort of ironic because that probably makes him want to. But anyway, we have Marco Rubio. And oh, boy. Okay, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you about this. All right, Marco Rubio. I've never disagreed with Rush Limbaugh before, so this was, of course, a very big adjusting moment for me. I ran out of tissues. But anyway, Rush Limbaugh was on his show and said something that I disagree with. Highly disagree with, as a matter of fact. And I've never disagreed with Rush before. So this was a big moment for me. And I still love Rush, still listen to him. But I was disappointed in what he said. And maybe he knows more than I do when it comes to this because he's actually able to talk to these people. But Rush had met with Marco Rubio. And Marco basically told him that he doesn't want to spend 30 more years in the Senate to get stuff done. To get the same power that John McCain has and all these other senators has. So he's running for the presidency. Now, Rush said that Marco Rubio is a full-throated conservative. Full-throated conservative. That's what Rush said about him. He's not this establishment guy that everyone thinks. He's a full-throated conservative. I have a serious issue with that. Marco Rubio is a huge proponent of amnesty. He supported amnesty. He supported basically a replica of the Gang of Eight, a replica of the Simpson-Mazzoli Act in his little Gang of Eight bill. And here recently, he was on Fox News and said that we're not going to be able to round up 12 million people, and basically said that he continues to support amnesty. So he is a pro-amnesty candidate. A matter of fact, I even have the audio here for you of Marco Rubio saying that he still supports amnesty. He has no problem with it. Go ahead and play it.
It wasn't quite a closing argument. That'll come Sunday night in all likelihood, and again Monday. But you and Jeb Bush, back and forth in immigration, part of that exchange now, and I'll get you to respond to this.
At the time and the context of that was in 2009 and 2010, where the last effort for legalization was an effort done in the Senate It was an effort led by several people that provided almost an instant path with very little obstacles moving forward. What I've always said is this issue does need to be solved.
Well, I'm kind of confused because he was the sponsor of the Gang of Eight bill that did require a bunch of thresholds, but ultimately allowed for citizenship over an extended period of time. I mean, that's a fact. And he asked me to support that, and I supported him. And then he cut and run because it wasn't popular amongst conservatives, I guess.
And that last point, saying you cut and run because it wasn't politically popular.
Yeah, well, he just admitted he was confused. He is confused because the issue here is not the bill. That bill can't pass. There is no support in America for a comprehensive approach. Presidents should not be ramming down the throat of the American people ideas they do not want or support. That's what this president has done with not one, but two illegal and unconstitutional executive orders. This issue about what do you do with the people that are in this country illegally, I've already said we're not going to round up and deport 12 million people.
See, so there you go. We're not going to round up and deport 12 million people. What does that mean? That means that Marco Rubio is in support of amnesty. That's what that means. It means that he is going to grant legal status to those illegal immigrants. He's going to give them free citizenship. That is not a conservative factor. That is a liberal factor, all right? Marco Rubio is not a full-throated conservative. He has the throat cancer of liberalism, okay? Because more and more, that cancer is growing in his throat. It's becoming bigger and bigger. Because, I mean, guys, I remind you, it was Marco Rubio that said that, hey, you know what? Social conservatives need to compromise on social issues. We need to loosen up a little bit. That's what Marco Rubio said. And on top of that, Marco Rubio said that, hey, homosexuals, they are born that way. That's Marco Rubio. And all of a sudden he's clinging to God and guns and saying, hell yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm just like you. I mean, guys, it's really just absolutely pathetic. It is. It is absolutely pathetic. And he is such an average politician, manipulating voters into getting his support, manipulating evangelicals into supporting him. And, I mean, and that's another thing. He was playing, I think, Redeemed at his... when he won third place, he made it out like he was winning first place. His speech was like he won first place anyway. But at his third place victory speech, he was playing a Christian song. I mean, he's really trying to get evangelicals and make it out like he is all of a sudden on board with evangelicals all of a sudden. And on top of that, my good friend Brian Fisher, he canceled on Brian several years ago. They're getting ready to do the interview, and all of a sudden, Rubio decided to cancel it. And I guess Brian was too offensive for him or something. I don't know what it was, but considering that Brian Fisher is a huge advocate for the evangelical community out there. I mean, so I guess he has a problem with evangelicals, saying that we need to soften on social issues. I mean, and see, that's another thing. If you're going to say that, and this is what Marco is saying now. He's saying, yeah, I think that we should maybe look at changing the Supreme Court's decision on that issue. Okay, if Marco thinks that gay people are born gay and that we should deny them marriage, how in the world are you going to sell that one? Because you're basically saying that they are equivalent to the color of someone's skin. It's innate, so you can't help it. But you're saying that they should be discriminated against. That's exactly what the liberals want to hear. They want to hear conservatives say, no, it's not a choice. It's a lie. I mean, it obviously is a choice. An act is a choice. Homosexuality is an act. It's an action. There's really no such thing as this whole sexual orientation thing. It's just a justification for lifestyles or a categorization for your sexual habits. But it's really just, it's pathetic. And this is a guy that is being called not a rhino. Right. A guy who is one of the head sponsors of the Gang of Eight bill, worked with John McCain, worked with all the other guys. Chuck Schumer. whatever.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight. You're listening to Caiden Cowger, America's next generation of conservative talk radio.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, call 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-678-4817. That's 1-800-678-4817.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-824-9762. Again, 800-824-9762. That's 800-824-9762. 800-824-9762.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
Call 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597.
Have you ever had this brilliant idea for an invention? I mean, you think that if this idea, if this invention actually gets out in production and is able to be marketed and everything, this will make you millions and millions of dollars. So people have ideas like this all the time. But the problem that they run into is actually getting it out in production and getting it in the stores. Well, let me tell you about my friends at InventHelp. InventHelp has been helping inventors for over 30 years. And what they do is they package inventors' ideas, they provide a patent referral, and then they submit the idea to companies that want to receive new ideas. And some of their clients have included Lowe's, Toys R Us, Home Depot, Target, and Walmart, just to name a few. Their number is 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. That's 1-800-352-1597. 1597. InventHelp is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program. Do your teeth ever get stained from drinking a lot of coffee or tea? And then when that happens, you have to make an appointment, you have to go to the dentist, and then they scrape half your gum out along with the plaque. It's horrible. Well, let me tell you about our friends at Power Swabs. Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get teeth white without visiting the dentist. Teeth that are stained from coffee or tea will be 2 shades whiter with just one Power Swabs treatment. Power Swabs is clinically proven to whiten teeth as well as caps. They can be reached by calling 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. That is 1-800-678-4817. Have you ever been involved in an auto accident or had to get your car repaired and then got an expensive bill? For example, you're driving home on a shopping trip you didn't want to go on in the first place, and the next thing you know, traveling at just 65 miles per hour, a stupid deer jumps right out in front of you and whack, hits you right in the front of the car. Yeah, sorry, I had a flashback. Well, let me tell you about our sponsor, Maximum Car Care. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced a revolutionary low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the general public to save customers thousands of dollars on auto repairs. They can be reached at 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. That's 1-800-824-9762.
You're listening to WXMB, the Myrtle Beach home for Caiden Cowger.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. It is great to have you with us. So, Paula Jones said that she cannot believe that Bill Clinton has the nerve to campaign for Hillary after what he has done to all those women. That's exactly right. How in the world is Hillary going to be able to say, I'm going to fight the war on women, when Bill Clinton sitting right behind her? And really, how can she? I mean, Bill Clinton, and this isn't a fact, but Bill Clinton is pretty much equivalent. Well, no, actually, it is not a fact. Yeah, it's not a fact because he's probably done that to more women than Bill Cosby. But that's just speculation. Can't sue me. Just a little opinion there of mine. But anyway, I mean, he's equivalent to Bill Cosby, in my opinion, of course. Another thing that we have here, Jeb Bush did a really embarrassing thing. So he was delivering this speech in New Hampshire, and he was trying to really get the crowd going, wasn't able to. The crowd was dead, and he had to beg them to applaud. Listen to this.
I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country, to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Oh, you loser. So, yeah, that's Jeb Bush. Beg the audience to clap. Oh, my gosh. Could his campaign get any more humiliating? I mean, he really does. He acts like he doesn't want to be there, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be there if my last name was Bush and I was doing that poorly in the polls on top of it. I mean, why in the world is he still in the race? Just drop out for the sake of all your little remaining reputation. Drop out. It's so embarrassing. Save yourself some embarrassment. Goodness sakes. I mean, it's just horrible. I feel so sorry for him. It's sad. It really is. But that's Jeb Bush. Okay, now that was more depressing than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. Oh, that's horrible. Trusted leadership for a stronger America. It's what is on the banner behind him. Ugh. If Jeb Bush is the poster child for America's remaining strength, we look like Steve Urkel. I mean, it's really sad. But anyway, okay, so Cruz is saying that Democrats will win if Rubio is the GOP nominee. Rubio is saying that if Cruz or if Trump is the nominee, then we're basically electing Hillary Clinton. So, yeah, that's their little back-and-forth game that they're playing there. Rick Santorum, along with Mike Huckabee, have dropped out of the race. Rick Santorum decided to endorse Marco Rubio for president. So, yeah, that's what happened there. Oh, I tell you. So that's what's going on in politics right now. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. In Lewisburg, here in West Virginia, I'll just go ahead and tell you this. We're almost out of time. Lewisburg, West Virginia, it's down in Greenbrier County. They decided to pass a bathroom bill. Hundreds of citizens came there to protest, saying that men should not be allowed to use women's restrooms. And, hundreds of them came to this thing in Lewisburg, voted against it. And anyway, the Lewisburg City Council ignored the hundreds, said, we don't care what you think, we're going to go ahead and do it. They passed it unanimously. So now men can go into the girls' restroom and wait for them to rape them And because that's what's going to happen. Rape rates are going to increase there. So if you are living in Lewisburg and you're straight, I would leave. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. And for the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you, God bless, and God save this nation.